Welcome to the Quality Improvement Basics course Team Concepts module. Our topics in this module will be to learn team basics and team effectiveness, create your QI project charter, build your QI team. Also, before we start, please open the related documents for this module, tools, templates, and any samples, which are available on the web page where you found the link to this module. It will help you to have those ready for quick reference, as screenshots of the documents may not be legible on your screen. Team basics and team effectiveness. All QI projects involve a team process, whether an organization is seeking to improve patient wait times, improve diabetes care, or achieve other goals. A team effort is foundational for an organization to achieve significant and lasting improvements. At its core, QI is a team process. A well-functioning team will harness the knowledge, skills, experience, and perspectives of different individuals within the team to make lasting improvements. Underpinning these teams are leadership support and policies and procedures to organize and facilitate the work of the team. Other key components of a well-functioning QI team are effective infrastructure elements such as meeting space, tools, and resources to foster effective teamwork and communication. A team approach is needed when the process or system is complex, which is quite often the case in healthcare. Even when we think a process is fairly simple, when we map it out, we are often surprised by the number of people and steps that are actually involved. No one person in an organization knows all the dimensions of an issue, which is almost always the case. The process involves more than one discipline or work area. Most processes cross department boundaries or are multidisciplinary in nature. Solutions require creativity. Staff commitment and buy-in are needed. One or a combination of these characteristics indicate that a team approach is needed. There are a number of ingredients that contribute to achieving a high level of team performance. Teams that perform well have a clear and shared vision or a shared mental model, which are mental pictures of relevant facts and relationships defining our QI project work. In other words, are we all in sync and understand what we are doing? Teams must also have clear roles and responsibilities, have strong team leadership, engage in the discipline of regular feedback, develop a strong sense of collective trust and confidence, create mechanisms to cooperate and coordinate, manage and optimize performance outcomes. This module will provide strategies for cultivating these characteristics in your quality improvement teams. We all know that we encounter barriers and challenges in our daily work. We just reviewed some traits of high-performing teams, so let's enumerate some common challenges. Inconsistency in team membership or inconsistent participation or high team turnover, lack of time, lack of information sharing, hierarchy, defensiveness, conventional thinking when we need innovative thinking instead, varying communication styles, conflict, lack of coordination and follow-up, distractions, fatigue, workload, misinterpretation of cues, and lack of role clarity. Many of these intersect with the topic of communication, and we'll talk about methods of addressing these barriers in this module. We'll talk about team roles in a few minutes, but let's start with a few traits that should be demonstrated by your team leader. The person acting as the team leader should be able to organize the team, articulate goals clearly, empower members to speak up and share their ideas, knowledge, and perspectives, enable decisions through collective input of members, actively promote and facilitate good teamwork, and skillfully work with the team to employ conflict resolution. The team that you'll need to assemble for any given project is based on the improvement that you are seeking and the people with the skills and talents to fulfill the roles you'll need. Additionally, you'll need to ensure that the appropriate stakeholders are represented in the roles on your QI team. Having people that carry out the work, not just managerial oversight, will be integral when it comes to analyzing your processes and designing and implementing changes to achieve your quality improvement goals. As we're all constantly learning and growing in our own roles and work, you may be starting with members of your team who are new to QI work, and part of the project will be to help build quality improvement skills as your project unfolds. Each team member with the team leader's help and direction should aim to provide useful ideas, information, and feedback, engage in team decision-making, understand their team QI roles and responsibilities, assist and enable their fellow team members, contribute to conflict resolution, reduce stress on the team as a whole by putting the needs of the team first. Your Quality Improvement Project Charter. When creating a quality improvement project charter, you want to be certain that the improvement you are seeking is indeed a team project and not just a singular activity or one-off task. Certainly, not everything is a project, and some things can be fixed quickly without the formalities of assembling a team and creating a project charter. This can be a bit of a gray area, but looking at the issue at hand through using these criteria can help you decide whether you'll need to assemble a team. Changes will be made that affect multiple roles that work together, not just an individual. A multidisciplinary team is needed. The change or improvement needed cuts across multiple roles, units, departments, etc. A process is involved, again often spanning multiple departments, and we'll define what a process is later in this course. The problem is recurring. Past efforts to improve haven't worked. Maybe you have already tried the just fix it approach. Multiple cycles of improvement may be needed. Information needs to be gathered systematically to clarify issues. The issue is not a quick fix, rather a deeper system or process problem. It is important to keep in mind that there is no short-term or quick fix approach to make quality improvement happen. It is a journey and involves doing things differently to achieve real change. It requires continuous evaluation, assessment of where there are gaps, implementing tests of change and evaluating the impact. It takes involving people affected by the process and outcomes of the improvement work, or the stakeholders. It is usually a combination of several of the bullet points here that indicate a need to recognize the work as a needed quality improvement project, create a quality improvement project charter, document, and assemble a team. Once you have confirmed that the change you are seeking qualifies as a quality improvement project, creating a QI project charter document will help organize your efforts and serve as a placeholder and reference document along with other QI project artifacts. When it comes to quality improvement projects, good planning during the initiation phase of the project can dictate whether or not the project will be a success. One of the best ways to get a project off on the right foot is to create an effective project charter. Depending on the organizational process and potentially the specifics of a given project, the individual or group responsible for developing the charter may differ. In some cases, charters are developed by leadership teams and then handed off to the QI project team leader. At other times, the QI project leader or the QI project team may develop the charter and then seek approval to move forward from leadership. The QI project charter will help you define what your team is trying to improve, the issues at hand, and includes a clear statement or goal or aim that you are seeking to achieve. Here's a list of the components of a QI project charter, and we'll look at an example of the document on the next slide. Fields in the charter include the problem statement, background, goals, scope, timeline, team roles and responsibilities, resources required, barriers, approvals, stakeholders. The problem statement is a key element in the charter and should include the following: specific dates in which the problem occurred, or if it's an ongoing problem, specifics of the problem, quantify the problem, difference between current and desired performance, and impact of the problem on patients or the organization. Here's a sample of a QI project charter that contains the elements enumerated in the prior slide. Like all documents presented in this course, there's a template available to you on the website where you launch this module. It includes directions on how to complete the document, including what should be entered in each field. Overall, the project charter should be able to describe the work your team is doing to someone who is unfamiliar with your QI work. In essence, it's a project overview and summary document. It is important to remember that the charter is not a work plan. It does not describe specific tasks or activities to be done or how to complete the work. It is a higher level guidance and direction document. In fact, a charter can be a good opportunity to indicate how the work being requested links back to the organization's strategic plan, mission, and vision. This sort of statement can be entered in the goal field. A good project charter is a written document that is clear and concise. Charters should not contain pages and pages of information, but instead should focus on the key elements of the project. Additionally, the charter should be kept in a place where it is available to everyone involved, because it can help the team stay focused and avoid expanding the work beyond what the project charter describes, also known as project scope creep. The quality improvement work plan, in contrast to the project charter, does describe specific tasks and activities to be done. The work plan will keep your team organized and accountable for the tasks and follow-up items that you'll be tracking during your project work. For each task, you'll want to know the current status, who is responsible for specific tasks, and other details such as actual completion dates and any notes or details about the work. Work plans come in many formats, varying level of detail, and the one included here is very straightforward and easy to use. Typically, the team leader owns this document, and it should be shared and reviewed with the team at each meeting to create accountability and ensure that progress is being made and any barriers to specific tasks should be discussed. Building your quality improvement team. Let's go back to the concept of building a QI team and take a closer look at the roles that typically are needed on this type of team. Based on what you are trying to improve, you may not need to fill certain roles, and multiple roles may be covered by a single team member. The roles include project sponsor, team leader, meeting facilitator, team contributor, data specialist, system specialist, and scribe or note taker. Compared to traditional hierarchical work with managers and those who report to them, the QI team optimally will have a flatter structure where members leave their stripes or hierarchical ranking at the door and put the team members on equal footing. The idea is to fill needed responsibilities and have team members contribute to solve the QI issue at hand. An effective approach is to think of some of the listed roles more as responsibilities which can be shared or rotated, especially the role of facilitator or the scribe or note taker. In the following slides, we'll consider the responsibilities of each role. The project sponsor is frequently an executive or leadership person who empowers the QI team to undertake its work. They will determine the scope and authority of the QI team, assist in defining its purpose, secure necessary resources for the team, such as allocating time in team members' work schedules, review and provide feedback regarding project outcomes, help disseminate information about the project's purpose and outcomes throughout the organization. The sponsor may participate in team meetings at the outset and conclusion of the project and may attend meetings on an as-needed basis depending upon scope and duration. The team typically communicates with and confers with the sponsor throughout the project. The team leader provides guidance and direction for the QI team and secures organizational support and necessary resources with the project sponsor, identifies and recruits team members, drives and manages the project, follows the project charter and develops a work plan and timeline, ensures tests of change are implemented and oversees data collection, schedules meetings and develops agendas, responsible for communication plan and ensure necessary communication outside the immediate team. We'll take a look at a sample communication plan in this course. The meeting facilitator often is a rotating role and is specific to a single meeting. This role works with the team leader to prepare agenda and assure availability of meeting resources, guides discussion through the 3 phases of opening, narrowing, and closing, that is, opening the meeting and broader conversation, helping to narrow the conversation and discussion to the topic at hand, and then closing the conversation out with necessary actions and decisions needed. Keeps group conscious of purpose, progress, and time, periodically synthesizes and summarizes themes to test understanding, assists to identify and resolve conflict, and assists in developing action steps or the closing phase of the meeting. Having a meeting facilitator can free up other team members from the mechanics of the meeting while having someone keep the guide rails around the conversation and provide general direction for the meeting so that ultimately action and steps forward are identified. The core of the quality improvement work is undertaken by the team members and participants or team contributors who have intimate knowledge of the processes in your organization. The contributors are often subject matter experts and are expected to participate fully to support and achieve the goals of the project charter, help gather and interpret needed information, act as liaisons with others in the organization as needed, provide subject matter expertise about processes they carry out, and advance their learning and skills about quality improvement as they engage in the project work. This is a generalized list of tasks for this role, and it could also include other activities that rely on any member's particular expertise or job function. There isn't a specific number of team contributors you'll have on your team, but 1 or 2 that represent and understand the processes under discussion is typical. You will have more contributors if your scope is larger and covers broader multidisciplinary and/or cross-departmental processes. The data specialist role is a key role on your quality improvement team. The data specialist collects and aggregates data, helps with reporting and data visualization needs using charts, graphs, and tables, is conversant and knowledgeable about the content and topics presented in the Using Data module. Team members can grow into this role during the quality improvement project, particularly as you may not have a person that would be able to fulfill this role. If you discover someone on your team that has special interest in learning these tasks, This is a good opportunity not only for the team, but for that person's individual learning and career growth. The systems specialist role is filled by one of your team members who could be an information technology or information services resource. Might also be staff or a functional role who has had extra training in your electronic healthcare record, often known as a super user. This person supports the QI team in leveraging electronic systems to achieve the project goals. They also provide perspective based on deeper understanding of the electronic healthcare record or other electronic systems in your organization. Overall, they are a person or several people on your team who have a deeper understanding of the EHR and how it supports the workflow. They might find themselves working closely with the data specialist, or this may be a combined role where the system specialist and data specialist are covered by a single team member. Lastly, it's helpful to have someone fill the role of scribe or note-taker at your meetings, as this role requires focusing on capturing conversation summaries, decisions made, action items, etc. It can be a bit challenging for that person to fully contribute their thinking and ideas at the same time. Quite frequently, this role rotates among team members unless you have someone that enjoys the task, or if you have an administrative support person attend and take the work on for your team. The roles that have been presented here may be combined, assigned to a particular person, or divided differently depending on how you structure your QI team. The roles and responsibilities are listed on a checklist in the next slide to make sure your team is covering the needed bases when creating the team and ensuring the tasks typically associated with these roles are assigned to team members with the corresponding skill sets. The Team Roles and Responsibilities tool is that basic checklist you can use to confirm that key roles and responsibilities are being covered by members of your quality improvement team. The tool includes the roles we just covered, and you can add rows as needed. It's also helpful to keep this along with your project charter so that anyone can quickly learn not only what the project entails, but how it has been staffed. Additionally, the document can be kept along with other tools and templates and referred to in the future to determine who may have participated in completed projects or might be a good fit for upcoming QI projects. Thank you for taking time to learn about team concepts as part of the Quality Improvement Basics course. Please join me for the next module of the course, Communication and Facilitation.